Hi, welcome to myprojectbazaar.com. We can see our project title is Reputation Measurement and Malicious Feedback Rating Prevention in Web Service Recommendation System. The main aim of the system is to reduce the deviation of the reputation measurement and satisfy the usage by giving fortunate result for the web service recommendation. Reputation of web services is a broadly active metric that defines whether the service should be suggested to a user. Web service recommendation system can help service clients to discover the exact service from the queues number of accessible web services. The service reputation mark is usually considered using response ratings delivered by users. The system proposes a unique reputation measurement method for web service recommendations. The experimental outcomes confirm that the proposed measurement method can decrease the deviance of the reputation measurement and improve the success percentage of the web service recommendation. Feedback rating prevention system to forbid malicious users from overcoming feedback ratings with a standard Bloom filter. Reputation measurement method can lessen deviance of the improved success rate. We can see our project flow diagram is we can start the process. User likes system. User, which category do you want this link to like our category in splitted user actions. Reputation system relay and fast information to establish trust among unknown participants. User which category the clicking system. Hereafter counting our process system in user clicking link system. Which link user do you want to click that time to counting processing start the process of counting user the link system. We refer to the aggregated assumptions that the community of service requesters have for a given service reputation. This recommendation is helpful for users when two or more web services have same functionality but different QoS perform. User spend time. The user spend time, how much of time user spending same link to calculated to be updated on server. Services recommendation can provide the user with necessary information to help decide which web service should be selected. Service-oriented environment where everybody is allowed to offer services need considers whom making a service selection. Web service reputation recorded as a metric of its future behavior. Feedback recommendation system user which category mostly liking system to enter and feedback particular user selected category. That category must what type of selected link to enter that link user feedback and click of user depending on ranking process. The IP addresses with the offending feedback ratings and block them using a standard Bloom filter. Feedback rating using prevention scheme for recommendation system. We can see our project demo is to select on the data collections in dataset value. So to click on the select file, so I have to select in one dataset services dataset to feed on the data table record and inserted here. To extract it in data table to record it inserted here. So to click on the view button, the whole data is retrieving the database values. So using the whole data shown here. To click on the file count button, the harmonic rows count and column count in dataset value to shown here. The rows count value in 352 and column count 25 value to insert it in dataset. To click on the next button, to click on the load file button, so initialize process to save on the process and to load on the successfully. So to load on the whole data's value in shown here. To click on the pre-processing button, the pre-processing using the process, so to neglect it in the unwanted data, multiple rows and columns to shown here, but the unwanted data is inserted in data table. The unwanted data should be neglected in pre-processing values. To click on the pre-processing value, before pre-processing the 383 so values are inserted here, but after pre-processing data value 352 values in unwanted data. That unwanted data is neglected here. To click on the next button, user would like this, click on the window, the entry on the level. So user links to click that update in database that work class to taking out the process. To click on the clustering one button, click on the window that all clicking system counting process is shown here. The novelty process in user liking, so which we want any link to click on the window. The counting process can be started. So the novelty process in user like and counting process is shown here. To click on the clustering 2 button, so time visit and user ID and authority shown here. User which time to visit on the that link process, so to calculate it in databases, to update in data server process. The authority presence is 1, so how many authority presence in time to visit in same link, to calculate it in database. To click on the next button, the click window in 1 to 3, the user liking system and classes should be shown here. So to click on the click window in 4 to 6, user liking process classes in how many links to connect it in the user liking system. To calculate any databases inserted here. User which services would you like this, to click on the window, the updated in server process. To click on the window in 4 to 5, automatically updated in processing user like in classes form. So user likes in system and classes movies and news and interesting. So how many links to provide in user process, which link to mostly uses in systems, to calculate in counting process, in reputation service process, and update in server process. To click on the 1 to 3 button, so same pages to calculating the systems. We can see our process. So time on page in user like in one movies classes to relevant to searching process in relevant process. So time on was and time on page 28515. So to click on the order now button, the services system services recommendation can provide the user with necessary information to decide which web services should be selected. We refer to the aggregated perceptions that the community of service requesters have for a given web service reputations. The IP addresses with offending feedback ratings and block them using the standard Bloom filters. To updating the server process, so visiting time and user mostly like. So to click we can see our process. To click on the window in 1 to 3. So to click on the button in 1 to 3. So visiting time 157922. So that moves here. The mostly user like the system in theater services. So result in theater process calculating the server. So to update on the server process, various services to give on the user systems, but users would mostly likely in 3 systems. So only the first one theater, and second one television, and third one Broadway. The 3 system only user would most like system in user process. User must recommend the system. My IP address is to enter on the text box 1, 201 category wise and theta and category wise. To click on the window, so how much of list in theater process, the Cinemax Thane theater and like count. I feel that they could theater in their process, so I enter in good in feedback system. To click on the selected process, user click count to 4. So the feedback rating prevention system to forbid malicious users from overcoming feedback ratings with a standard Bloom filter. Reputation measurement method can lessen the deviation of improved success ratios. To click on the like category, the average use of user like in 1 and user average count process in 3. That theater process only average user count process in 3 and average of user click. The counting process only 3% to feedback on the good process in same theater level. So to counting on the process in updating server process. To click on the next button, to counting process, user IP and category and type and click count and like count and the theater process separated here. The user process theater process mostly liking system in like count and command and better and user average count must enter on the level. The total count button total 14.25 in Cinemax Thane and Atlabs in 9.5 only. So that updated only in user click count and user feedback system depending on the ranking process. The ranking process mostly users of like system. The user when we search in theater process, the display in which that based on level in research. Our ongoing research includes investigating the parameter of sampling interval, investigating the number of feedback ratings, improve the service recommendations process. Thank you.